Hey, hello, and welcome to One More Rabbit Thing, a podcast where we talk real online rabbit discussions, dig into some rabbit research, answer real rabbit owner questions, and most importantly, learn together. Hopping over to that bunny bulletin, let's see quickly what's on today's episode. Number 1, Rabbit Spa Day. Why is my rabbit yellow? Number 2, salt blocks. Essential mineral or salty placebo? And number 3, nesting box alternatives. What can I use other than a wooden box? I do not know. Let's find out together. I am your host, Jade, and I hope that this adds one more rabbit thing to your week because this time of year we are absolutely obsessed with rabbits. I know I can't be alone on that, and that's why I wanted to start this podcast, was to kind of dig into some interesting topics that I see throughout the week. Some of them really weird. I always try to grab things that maybe not everybody's asking, but just some different questions that kind of get thrown in the mix. So, topic number 1, Rabbit Spa Day. Why is my rabbit yellow? I wanted to do this topic for pet owners who deal with stains and are maybe worried about keeping their fur clean if they are new bunny owners, or maybe potty training their bunnies, show breed owners, or anyone wanting to maybe get into the hobby of show breeding. What do you do with these white rabbits or long furred rabbits that have these stains, or anyone maybe even rescuing rabbits? So let's get into some screenshots and videos on what people discuss about this topic and some recipes for some stain removal on fur. What most rabbit owners seem to agree on is fixing the cause. Let me read this to you guys. So, fix the cause first. Many experienced breeders and pet owners say yellow feet or stained fur usually comes from sitting in a dirty litter box, spray marking for our rabbits who are being a little bit hormonal. This goes for people that have not everyone wants to spay and neuter their bunnies. Some of us like to breed our rabbits. So the most common thing I see is, especially during potty training, or if you're having a bunny with some pee markings going, usually it's from potty training, but not always. Sometimes it's rescue rabbits or just, little accidents that may have happened we didn't get to quickly. So, continuing. If I didn't say it already, sitting in a dirty litter box, spray marking, obesity or arthritis preventing grooming, urinary issues, long fur collecting urine. Several forum members emphasize that cleaning the stains is pointless if the rabbit keeps getting urine on itself. So, method number 1. First method is do nothing, and it is the most common advice that I could find. Most common response by far: don't do anything. So let's read some of this. Reddit and most Facebook groups, this was their go-to. Just don't do anything, you guys. Keep your house clean. Wipe fresh urine if needed. Let the rabbit groom itself. Wait for stained fur to molt out. One comment summed it up and said the fur, quote unquote, will naturally grow back out to normal, because they do molt. If you didn't know that, rabbits do shed their fur. It kind of, when I hear the word molting, I first think chickens. I have some, I'm on a homestead and I do have chickens, and I didn't know about the molting right off the bat when I first got into that, because I was from the city and all this is kind of new to me, and didn't know that about rabbits either when I first got them, that they would molt. So that beautiful fur, if it's stained, will fall out and it will grow back. Getting into method number 2. This is very popular. I think the safest method is what everyone agrees on that I could find, was cornstarch dry bath. Comes up repeatedly. I'll pull up this Reddit post for you, and this commenter says, if the stain is minor and dry, just leave the feet alone. It is sufficient and does not need any other care. If the feet are still wet, you can use a damp paper towel to wipe off as much as you can. If there is poop stuck to the fur, you can carefully use a pair of round tip scissors to trim off the dirty fur. You can also use some cornstarch for a dry bath. Excuse me, I thought someone was trying to open my door. I have 4 kids. If your rabbit allows the handling. Generally, the fur will naturally grow out back to normal as long as you keep their litter box and environment clean. Check out the following wiki articles, yada yada. Okay, we're not going to click on these articles, but Continuing on, I have this screenshot for you guys, and I don't remember the website I grabbed it from, so you guys will have to forgive me, but I'm going to put it on screen for you. And the article reads, "Can I remove urine stains on the rabbit with a bath?" ? If your rabbit's fur is turning yellow, your first reaction might be to bathe it, but is this the right thing to do? Healthy rabbits should not be bathed in water because they can clean themselves. And for all my pet owners and meat rabbit owners, they definitely clean themselves. They do a pretty good job. So also, most rabbits will get frightened when immersed in water, so the risk of injury often outweighs the benefits of cleaning the rabbit's fur. Bathing your rabbit may be necessary in some circumstances. A rabbit that has arthritis or immobile may not be able to lean over to groom himself, for example. So our old bunnies, that might be in people's routines. Because when I first started kind of researching this, I seen a lot of people submerging their rabbits, and to be honest, these rabbits don't look like they're very old. They look like maybe these are first-time rabbit owners just trying to do their best, and they've probably had pet cats and dogs in the past, and that's how you would clean up your dog, especially as you'd give your dog a bath. And they're kind of just thinking it's the same thing. So that's another reason why I wanted to talk about this, because I cannot tell you how many times for the last couple of weeks, actually, I've seen videos of people submerging their rabbits, and they don't seem to need it. But we'll get into that soon, too. Okay, so also, if your rabbit has already developed urine scalding, this would be an extreme case, right? Sore, smelly fur on the inside of the hind legs is what that is, scalding. She will probably need a wet bath to prevent fly strike. Okay. If your rabbit has minimal staining on the pads of her feet and no damp, sore fur, a wet bath. Okay, it continues, but I think that's where I cut it off, so we'll stop there on that. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's continue on this because I actually think this is the recipe, so yes. Okay, let's continue. Place your rabbit in a comfortable position, the easiest position for accessing the feet, an underside belly up position. Okay. Do not force the rabbit to do that. Let's continue. Take some cornstarch powder, baby care product, it says, and apply this to any fur that is urine stained. Do not use regular talcum powder or cornstarch powder with added botanicals, as this could irritate your rabbit. Rub the powder into the stained areas on the feet inside the hind legs. If necessary, it says. Okay, sorry about that. The powder will coat and help to lift the urine from the fur. At this point, you may choose to comb through the fur with a flea comb, but be extremely careful not to pull too hard. Pat stroke the fur until the powder has been removed. This will produce some powder debris. Ideally, have someone vacuum it up. Okay, I think that's why I put this too for a screenshot for us, because a lot of this is going to be a two-man job just to make sure your rabbit is comfortable. And guys, take in mind, I haven't done a lot of this stuff. I just wanted to pull this topic because I thought it would be fun. But, I mean, that's how obsessed I am, that I think this is fun talking about this stuff. I really do, you guys. But the cornstarch method I had not seen. I have a fuzzy Holland Lop. I have not had to use this method on him yet because I keep him pretty clean. He had some matting on his fur when I first got him pretty bad, but he does quite well. Just barely got him potty trained. We're still kind of working on it. I mentioned that in my last episode. Okay, so, and this is how I normally clean him, is method number 3, damp cloth or paper towel method. This is probably, if you have a baby bunny, this is probably what you should be doing if we're potty training, if you catch it right away. So, damp paper towel, damp washcloth, gentle wiping of fresh urine, mostly recommended when the urine is still wet and hasn't stained deeply. I'll pull this Reddit post for you, and the question is, best way to clean rabbit feet. My baby girl has very dirty feet. At least they look that way since she's fully white, and she refuses to let me touch them to gently wipe them off. So she has a spicy bunny. What are some personal best methods for this? Okay. This commenter says, if the urine stained feet just keep If the urine stained feet just keep a clean environment, proper litter box setup over time, they will groom themselves, new fur grows in. I got my boy with really yellow feet, wiped off any excess dirt using a damp cloth, but it was still yellow, so I just gave it time, and his feet are now pretty clean. Okay, and that's pretty much it on that. That's pretty self-explanatory, but it does. I had a red-eyed Roo, and the same thing with him. I can attest to that. His fur just grew back, and it wasn't stained anymore. So, method number 4, and let me take a quick look here. I think that might be our last method, and then we'll get into some debated methods. Okay, so our last one is partial butt bath. Some rabbit care sites suggest a shallow water clean. This is for very severe urine-soaked fur or urine scald, not a full body bath. Okay, and I will show some videos of this right now with a trigger warning, because some of these are a little bit just hard to watch, and I think a few people just really didn't do what they were supposed to do, but I wanted to include it because it's some of the videos I pulled off of TikTok. And I will say this, the first and the last recording both seem to only be doing the rear. One of them is, you can tell, is a severe case. The other one looks more maybe like a routine method that she's doing. And let's get into these methods that get debated now. So baking soda paste, which I was surprised that this was debated, because to me, especially if you're doing show breeds, I would think would be one of the top ones for it, because just making it into a paste seems like it would remove the stain properly, but maybe it's debated because maybe it's a little harsh. I'm not sure what you guys think. If you've used it before, please comment below. But it says, one rabbit talk breeder reported success applying baking soda paste, letting it dry, then brushing it out. This method seems safest, most gentle, comparable to the cornstarch method, is what I'm thinking when I seen that. Okay, number 2 is pet dry shampoos, and this to me is scary to see. So it seems too wet in my opinion, and it wets the fur quite a bit, and I will insert an image here. It's just the image. I didn't want to do the full video. I did get this off TikTok, I believe. I just think it's going to get too perfumey. Most of these pet dry shampoos are for cats and dogs. Usually cats, from what I've seen. I've actually purchased one before, and it was very perfumey. I'm sure some brands claim to be a little less, but I don't know, you guys. That one looks a little bit... I wouldn't do this one. And I don't recommend any of these methods. This is just us having some fun, right? Just kind of going through some of these together. So, yes, that one was interesting to see. Okay. Rabbit talk. Okay, I'll read this comment because I like what she says here. And it reminds me of the pet shampoos. Okay, so that's why I grabbed this one. If it's a cosmetic concern, this poster writes, just live with it unless you need a clean rabbit for show and it's just stains and not soaked into the skin. There's no reason to bathe it or put any chemicals on it. Just because something is marketed for pets doesn't mean it's good for them. And that was really what I liked, that she added to this conversation, because it says it's for pets doesn't mean it's good for them. We have to be very careful. Have you guys ever shopped at TJ Maxx? I think it's TJ Maxx, yeah. There used to be one in the town that I used to live in, and we would go there to get different pet shampoos, and this was for my dog, and he was real musky. He had this real musky smell to him, and I would go pick out this, and maybe that's not good of me to do, but he handled it just fine. It never seemed to irritate him, but he's a dog. He's not a sensitive rabbit. They have such very sensitive respiratory systems. But I would buy like this pomegranate shampoo for him because I could not get that smell out of that little pooch. It was horrible. He's no longer with us anymore, sadly, but I look back because I was much younger, probably in my early 20s when I was buying that specific brand. And I wonder now if it was really safe for him because it was so perfumey. So definitely not something I would do now that I'm older. I wouldn't recommend that for any dog now. So let's continue reading this post. You can wipe with a damp cloth the worst areas, right? We talked about that. Where are the stains, it says? Is it just from spraying or laying carelessly in the litter box? Or could there be an incontinence issue? If it's reoccurring around his rear, the fur soaked and the skin irritated, it's another matter. Then something needs to be done, and probably a method like where we talked about, just like a little butt bath or something like that. So an honorable mention here, as I'm wrapping this portion of our video up, our topic number 1, the peroxide method. I seen this on TikTok, and I seen it from, let's see, Maddie at D&M Rabbitry. Maddie at D&M Rabbitry. And I have seen some of her videos before. She does meat breeds. My pet owners may not enjoy her videos. That's fine. You guys don't have to. I do both. So I also have meat breeds. So I do watch her channel occasionally. And she does show breeds. So she says she takes a damp cloth, wets the fur with hydrogen peroxide, and lets it sit for just a couple of minutes. And then removes with another damp cloth of water. So she takes another damp cloth with water, removes it, and repeats the process for dark or tough stains. And I appreciated Maddie's post for those of us that are just curious about what you do if you were to show a rabbit. I want to jump into these recipes really quick for you guys. I'm just going to read a few of them, but I will have all of them listed here, a screenshot for you guys. And okay, like I said, I'm not recommending these. I just wanted to read them for funsies. But they had a baking soda and vinegar one. This is the first one. And let's just read it, and then I'll kind of mention my qualm with it. But it says, this is number 1, baking soda and vinegar. This is our homemade recipe that we like the best so far, it says. And this comes to us, I apologize, from Mad Hatter Rabbits and Microfarm.com. And the way I got to this recipe is, what did I type in? Recipes for getting out rabbit stains. And then I typed in Mad Hatter Rabbits and Microfarm to get the website. And the reason why is because I'll have ChatGPT grab me some links and stuff so I can kind of research some of this stuff properly and go to the websites. This is just for fun, you guys. But I did like that they had some recipes for us, because that's what we really want, right? We want to hear it. Okay, so let's continue. We dissolved about a teaspoon of baking soda into 1/4 cup of white vinegar. Added some drops of orange essential oil to address the vinegar odor that stays on the rabbit. Spray on the rabbit, rub it in, let it dry. After it dries, wipe the cloth, repeat as necessary, it says. I thought it was weird that they added in the orange drops to this. Excuse me. Not just because it's an oil. I think that's unusual to put oil in a rabbit's fur if you're trying to clean it. But the vinegar smell, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but doesn't that just clear it by itself after it dries? And I'm not knocking her on this or anything, but I am curious as to why. I don't know what the thought... I mean, I guess she's telling us what her thought process is, but maybe she adds very little orange drops. I guess if you're going to try this recipe, just do it with caution. Continuing, she says Miracle Groom is at number 2 for them. This is a horse product that some Champagne d'Argent breeders swear by. It has a nice scent to it, and we got ours at Tractor Supply Company. Okay, so that's Miracle Groom to try for those of us curious and those of us who are risk takers, because I'm not recommending any of these. Okay, so I've never tried them. Chase's Stain Away. Good scent. This is at number 3. Good scent. Success with getting out and I don't know this word, you guys, in the rabbit world. Blanks white again? Blanks. I don't know how to pronounce that. Blancs. Although it left a little oily residue behind. Okay, so we don't want oily residue, correct? You hear it again here. Can be purchased at bunnyrabbit.com. This one must be specifically for bunnies. Number 4, cornstarch paste. Cornstarch mixed with white vinegar into a paste and rubbed onto the stain, let dry, and brush it out. Number 5, witch hazel and hydrogen peroxide. So we do have another hydrogen peroxide one. Create a 50-50 mix of witch hazel, and hydrogen peroxide. Rub on with a soft rag or cotton pad. Be aware that both of these are drying and could cause hair breakage if overused. Oh, they cause drying on the rabbit's fur. Okay. The other ones mentioned are lemon juice, blue Listerine, baking soda, and peroxide, and Cowboy Magic Rose Water. I'm not going to read those. I have them here for you to read. It looks like it gets a little crazy as the list goes on. Okay, so wrapping this up, it just depends what you're trying to do here, but they had a lot of interesting recipes for us to go off of, and it seems like the safest thing to do is just to leave it alone and make sure that you have your rabbit's area, whether it's a playpen area, his kennel, whatever you're doing, make sure that there's nowhere where he can lay in that pee. And those of you potty training, good luck to you. I know you're doing your best. It's not easy. Okay, so if you made it this far, comment Clean Bunny below. And let's hop into topic number 2. Salt licks for rabbits, helpful habit or old school myth? Question mark. I'm going to insert a video here for you guys just if you've never heard of salt blocks, because I didn't know people were using them for their rabbits. But a quick Google search will tell us that it is a no on a need. Enrichment would maybe be an argument, but I am not finding too many opposing arguments just on a Facebook post that we will get into here in a second. Okay, let me read this to you. Okay, rabbits get enough salt from their diet. A normal rabbit diet, hay plus pellets plus greens, already contains sodium and minerals that they need. Rabbits are designed to regulate small amounts of salt through food, not free access blocks. Their nutrition needs are met through hay, balanced pellets, unless you're free feeding. I'm not knocking anyone doing either. Balanced pellets without supplementation, it says. Okay, so salt licks. Let's read this post from Backyard Meat Rabbits Facebook page. If you are not a member, go be a member, because it's unintentionally funny at times and interesting posts and questions, and I really love to grab from this Facebook page. It's really my favorite. So, do you keep a small salt block in with your rabbits? I didn't know people were doing this, so let's read. These are some comments, and I'm gonna pull them up for you guys here. This person says, yes, minerals and salt are important in my opinion, especially with does who are craving salt. Has saved me plenty of babies from getting 8. Haven't had that happen again since I started using salt blocks. When I first read this, I thought to myself, I've only heard of does eating kids when it's a maternal instinct induced by fear, from what little research I have done. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Comment below your thoughts. That's the only time I've ever seen it mentioned, is there was something going on, she felt unsure, or there was something already wrong with the kit. I've also heard of over grooming, so that's the only time I had heard of that. Continuing, this poster says, never as long as you have a balanced pellet. This commenter says, it seems there are mixed opinions here. Can you just put a salt lick in the cage and they'll use it when they need it? Does that make sense? Continuing, this person says, yes, free choice is best. If they need it, they lick it. Mine are horse size, broken into a quarter, lasts a lot longer. Continuing, this person also writes, we do, and they use them some more than others. Good thing to have. They only use it when they need it, this person writes. Okay, let me see. Oh, I wanted to read this one too. Nope, I don't. No need to. With the amount of salt, there's a lot of misspelling, you guys, so that's why I'm kind of struggling on some of these. With the amount of salt in their pellets, this person writes, please, the salt will rust out your cage wire, so will ACV. Apple cider vinegar. Gosh, I've read that off a couple times because, like I said, I've tried recording this episode a few times. And I wasn't clocking in my brain ACV standard for apple cider vinegar. Now I just feel dumb looking at it right now, so sorry about that. Other people are writing, no, not necessary. Okay, let's read this one. Only a week out from kindling, and then I take it away on day 3 after kits are born. Too much salt can dehydrate the kidneys and cause early failure, but too little can cause herbivores to cannibalize their newborns in a desperate attempt to regain sodium. The pellets should have enough, but I like to make sure to cover the window of Anticipants just before they give birth. Okay. And this person says no. The pellets have plenty of salt. The block will eat a hole in your wire quick. Which I didn't know that it would do that either. Did you guys? I had no idea. There's very mixed opinions on this Facebook post, and that's why I really wanted to grab it. And I'm glad I did, because I went back to go check to see if I could pull some more fun ones. And it was completely gone. The person turned off the comments. So they're probably not thrilled I'm sharing these online. If they were to come across this, I doubt it, because I have like no viewers. So if you're watching, comment below, because we should be friends if you've made it this far. Continuing, there's one I really want to read. Okay, it's this one right here. Let me pull it up for you. This person writes, yes, people who say no either live in colder climates or have no clue what they're talking about. Even with a good pellet, your rabbit can get, how do I pronounce this word? Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Hyponatremia? Hyponatremia? Hyponatremia. I hope I'm saying that right. In the hot summer, with additional salt and minerals, it will also add weight and tenderness to your grouts by increasing the water volume in their muscle tissue. This person says, no, complete pellets have all they need. We're getting one or the other here. So someone responded to his comment and said, you have no clue what you are talking about. I live in both hot and cold climate. I've already hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit this year. I never use these worthless money pits. I feed a good feed, no issues. I think at some point they asked for proof. I wish I would have grabbed a few more of these going back and forth, but I didn't. So sorry. Proof my rabbits don't have any such issues, which proves you wrong. I do know, because I do in fact process my own rabbits. My rabbits have strong immune systems. RO is no more dead water than rain. Maybe stop, yada, yada, yada. I didn't grab the rest, I don't think. Okay, how do I know they are useless? Because my herd thrives just fine without them. Electrolytes do have their place, but for the most part, a proper food will have all the salt minerals they need in abundance. Why would I spend money on something that is unnecessary? Okay, so they were upset with each other. So I grabbed those for you guys for funsies. Okay, let me read my notes here, guys. Give me a second. Okay, so I think, okay, I'm not sure on the salt licks preventing the moms from eating their kits. Honestly, I don't know what to say about that. ChatGPT said no, because I tried to do like a Google search. I wasn't finding what I wanted as far as a clear answer. ChatGPT said no, but I asked it to give me the sources on this, and what it gave me just wasn't what I was looking for. Wasn't really backing its claims. It was kind of just a bunch of mumbo jumbo, so I don't know on that one. I wanted to grab some arguments for salt blocks, and this is what I found. Argument 1, insurance policy for homemade diets. This I do agree with. If you are mostly doing a hay and a green diet for your rabbits, I imagine the salt block wouldn't hurt at all. Cedar Hills Homestead, she has a YouTube channel. She has a complete video on the science that goes into what I believe is people not wanting to do a pellet. If I remember correctly, I haven't watched it since I was first getting rabbits. It's been a while. It appeared that she was trying to do a complete non-pellet diet. She goes into the science, how to grow your own forage for your rabbits. And even then, I don't recall her recommending a salt block in this case, but I could be wrong. She might have mentioned it. Like I said, I watched it a really long time ago, but I thought she was an honorable mention here. Cedar Hills Homestead. The video is called How to Feed Rabbits Without the Feed Store. How to Feed Rabbits Without the Feed Store for Forage or Grain Diets, it says. And I'm sorry I keep stumbling over my words. You're getting me at my best or at my worst, and apparently I've just been having a hard time recording this episode, and this one's probably going to be rough to listen to, but I'm tired of trying, and this is what you're going to get, so I'm sorry. I really do want to record this, though, because I took a lot of time to grab some of this stuff, more than usual. I want to pull this up on the topic. It's from rabbittalk.com, and this person writes, doesn't hurt, just in case they're missing something from their diet that we don't pick up on. I have both my buns cages. I have them in both my buns cages. They don't use them much except to play with. It's cheap insurance, she says. This person responds with, if you are not feeding pellets, it's definitely a good idea to give them a trace mineral salt block. You can buy a 5-pound block of the reddish brown type, intended for general livestock, for about $3 or so. Just knock chunks off of it with a hammer. If your rabbits are in individual cages, you might want to serve it in small ceramic crocks to save your cage wire from the salt. I get the straight-sided ramekins at the dollar store, usually $2 for $1, she says. Argument number 2, rabbits self-regulate / dietary imbalance is what I have written down. This website I also didn't grab because I'm unprofessional, but I have it written down as one rabbit care article. I just think that's what the ChatGPT wrote. Because I tried looking it back up to find it, typing in like rabbitcare.com or something. Nothing was coming up for me, so I don't know what the heck. But I will still show it to you. I have it screenshotted. What is the purpose of a salt lick? Before the days of store-bought pellets, owners would feed rabbits a diet that they had formulated. These would often be an all-natural diet that contained little or no sodium. Salt licks were used to address this dietary imbalance. Today, pellet feed contains all the minerals that rabbits need. Ideally, a natural diet would have all the minerals that rabbits need. However, the levels of minerals that affect mineral levels in plants include soil quality, farming techniques, and the external environment like temperature and humidity is what it says. And argument number 3, enrichment purposes, boredom relief. And the problem with this argument, which it's barely an argument, the same source that mentions enrichment don't actually show evidence that a salt block is better enrichment than apple sticks, willow toys, cardboard, hay-based toys, dig boxes, the typical boredom busters that you find for a rabbit. So I've learned that it can be harmful. If you buy one for your bunnies and they're just like attacking that thing, they're just loving it too much, you're going to have to pull it from the kennel. If you are doing mostly greens, mostly hay even, because some of us are mostly doing pellets, you're going to see that argument all across the board. It's very controversial with rabbits. I think hay is important too. But if you're mostly doing hay and lettuce greens and stuff like that, I think a salt block would be cool. It looks cute. Aesthetic purposes are there. Boredom busters there. But if they're eating the whole thing in one sitting, which I can see my rabbits doing, especially my Tamooks, maybe not my Holland Lop. He's pretty good about stuff in moderation. But just depending on the rabbit breed. Let me know if you guys try it. If you've already tried it and loved it or hated it, please comment below. Okay, so before we dig into topic number 3, I want to do this new segment, Rate My Hutch. So, a side note here. Let's keep in mind, as far as space goes, we are unaware of the free roam situation for each bunny or playtime during the day, anything like that. But when I look at these spaces, I'm assuming that they are out of the spaces in a bigger one at some point for daily exercise. And that's just what I'm assuming, because this is just for fun. We are not being rude. Okay, so number 1 I have up for you guys here. I grabbed these because I thought it was an interesting build. I've never seen anything quite like it for a hutch. I can tell that her hubby, or maybe she made them herself, very, very carpenter-like. I could tell that they're very much into the woodworking. As far as qualms go, I noticed that the wire is over the top of the wood instead of like maybe covering some of that wood, and I could be wrong. They're going to chew on that wood, so I could see that needing replaced. And I noticed they have this slanted little area for the poop pellets to drop down into these buckets, which is a great idea. But that wood's definitely going to stain out and rot, even if treated. So I'm going to give that one a 3 out of 5. But it's still really cute, and I like it. So if it's your hutch and you're watching, good job. Those are just some things that I wanted to comment on because this is my podcast. So, okay. Number 2. This one reminds me of Hooks Hollins on YouTube, and it's not hers, but it reminds me of hers. her setup is really cool because she has like this garage type bunny barn type thing, and she lets each one out individually for some playtime daily so they don't fight, I think, and not all of her rabbits are bonded. And she was a Holland Lop breeder. Her YouTube channel, go check it out, Hooks Hollands. She doesn't, I don't believe she makes YouTube videos on that channel anymore. I think she's a gamer now, so she does gamer videos, and I don't know the name of that channel, and this, I don't have it for you, I'm sorry. But overall, this is a nice setup, very clean, probably for smaller breeds looking at the kennels, and it's super swanky, so I'm wondering if it's not air conditioned. I see some stuff in the windows there, but it made me wonder if it was an air conditioned space, but I give that 4 out of 5 stars. And last but not least, I have an indoor setup. I wanted to kind of grab one of each kind. It has all the essentials here: room to binky, nice water setup, litter box, enrichment toys. I bet you anything under those little carrots that they have, they probably put little pellets or treats under there for them, which I thought was cute. The bunnies are clean. The only qualms I had is maybe the floor would need a little bit more traction. I see there's only a small area with the rug, but overall, well-loved buns, and I give that 4 out of 5 stars. So what would you rate these guys? Comment below if you've made it this far. And getting into topic number 3. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. Nesting box alternatives. And I really wanted to talk about this because I am currently on the look for a new nest box for my does. And I'm getting, if I didn't say it already, I'm getting a new doe tomorrow. Her name is Cadbury. She is a Timuc rabbit. She will be one of my breeders, and I'm very excited. So congratulate me. I am excited. So anyways, why nesting box exists in the first place, guys: warmth and insulation, keeping kits contained, reducing crushing risk, and mimicking a burrow. So what happens if we need a little extra space in our kennels? Maybe a giant nest box isn't ideal. Wood's expensive, right? And some of us are not very good at building anything. So I want to look at alternatives. Like I said, I am currently looking for a new nest box. My doe's really big. She needs more room. Her nest box takes up an enormous amount of space in her area. And I don't like that. I want her to have more room in that kennel. So we cannot mention this topic, period, without mentioning Tealstone Homestead's boxes. I currently actually have them. They are really big, which is great because I have really big rabbits. Easy tutorial, widely loved in the community. So if that's more what you're looking for, check her out, Tealstone Homestead. I'm sure if you type in nesting box, the video is going to come right up. It's a free, it was a free tutorial. People love it. It's great. That is a traditional nest box, along with metal boxes. There's wood boxes I seen at my Tractor Supply not long ago, but they go quick. So metal boxes, Amazon, super expensive, probably get hot in the summertime. I don't know, I've never bought them, but easy to clean, I guess. I don't know. Let's look at some different ones for fun. So my first image here I have for you, this is a little tote, and I actually do have these for my homeschool material for my kids. And her hubby cut a nice little slot here for the bun to hop in and out and get to her babies, and it looks like a great one. I've actually seen other people use this too. This person's on TikTok, and I have it for you so you can see her channel. It looks like a small breed. Box is too small for mine, but if you have smaller breeds, there you go. Next one is a picture of actually my bunny Moo, and I bought these containers for nest boxes. When I got them home, I realized the bottom is a very hard plastic. I don't like that, so I don't think I can really properly drill holes in that even, or like I can't cut it out and put wire at the bottom like I'd prefer to make sure there's proper ventilation for the kits. So it's a no for me, but Moo really likes it. He likes to sleep in there. I have wire, so he doesn't like laying his pellets and get his pretty fur all messed up. He prefers sitting on this a lot of the time. He just likes it. So it's kind of bouncy too, the way I have it in there. So I don't know. He enjoys it. Not a good nest box for me though. This next picture is what I will be trying. I already noticed today that it is not deep enough, I don't think, for my big breed of rabbits. I think that it will maybe temporarily be okay. We'll see. But this is from Walmart. Mainstays extra large, easy access bin. I have it screenshotted so you can pick that up. I don't recall the price. I want to say it was like maybe $5, something like that. Next image is of a grocery shopping thingy basket, shopping basket, sorry. That looks like a good one. I might, I actually really like that. Look, you got proper ventilation. It looks nice and deep. Wow. I wonder if I'm not going to steal one. But where can I get those, you guys? Where can I find that? A lot of people use a cardboard box. I grabbed this picture for you guys. I want something a little bit cuter, more aesthetically pleasing, if I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be too bougie, but I'd like something a little bit better than that, maybe, for my rabbits. Not that it's not good. I think it works great, and I think that it's nice and cool, probably. Don't knock it till you try it kind of thing. And I pulled this next one up for you because I thought this was really interesting. They're using kitty litter containers. I thought that was very creative. Great way to recycle. As long as your kitty litter is not too perfumey and you give that time to like air out and wash really good, I think that'd be a great one. Looks good, right? I think you could probably even do something a little bit better with that lid, and maybe, I don't know how you would though. Maybe there's a way to like block it a little bit so the babies ain't falling out, because that's what makes Tealstone Homestead's build so great, is she has that baby saver. Then you don't have to worry about your kids getting out of the nest box and getting cold. So she did a great job with that. I've personally never had any kit get out of that box. Not till I need to tip it over anyways, and even then, like, it's only been like a select few really good big bunnies that have hopped out of there. Usually they can't get out. So I got a couple wooden ones on here for you. Here's this one. It just looked like an interesting build. Just wanted to throw it out there. I haven't seen that kind before. It looks simple enough. I'm kind of trying to avoid the wood boxes, but I thought you guys might enjoy it. This one's interesting. It says, for our Californians, some have traditional wood nest boxes and some, I think she means, have big covered cat litter boxes. The spelling, you guys, they're not helping me out here. With those, I drill holes in the bottom for drainage because they will pee. Sometimes even your doe will pee in the nest box and use it as a litter box, I've heard. I've never had that happen, but sometimes they're being territorial. So anyways, I have more pictures. Okay, she says, there you go. There's that one. That one's pretty cool. That'd be a good one for chickens even. Okay, I've got these two, or no, this is just one interesting build maybe. Maybe it is two pictures. Well, there you go. There's that. Looks very DIY. Okay, and I wanted to mention these ones. These ones, I really wish I would have seen these the other day because I probably would have spent money going that route instead. I might do this next year. Attempt it for her or my does. But it's because I have kennels, and they are repurposed dog kennels, and there's 2 doors on them and this is for my meat breeds, not my Holland. He's an indoor bunny. He's got fuzzy fur. He's got to be inside. So these other, in my bunny barn, I have these kennels, and I think I could fashion something where she could have like still all the room in her kennel, but maybe be able to have them outside. So here's what I'm talking about. I don't know how to describe it, but here you go. Here's a picture of it. Very interesting. Here's another. They kind of drew like that way. You can they drew on their screenshot here so we can see how to install ours if we want to try something like that. And this one I grabbed from Rabbit Talk website. If you can't tell, I very much favor that website for information because it has very experienced breeders on there who have real advice for us. So she says, has anyone bought or made a nest box that are hooked onto the outside? I'd prefer that versus putting a nest box and reducing space. They are usually hooked onto the door hole. If you have, can you share pictures and links where you got them? Are there any places for cheap? I'm thinking of buying wire mesh and making them, as that may be easiest. And they have some pictures of these big green totes. I really like them. I don't know. It's just really cool. I'm going to have to find these, you guys. I have a couple more images here. And last but not least, I want to mention no nest box at all. So this is, I like this and I might try this as well, but I like how they just have it sectioned off with a curved piece of wood. Very creative there. So some experienced does will simply make a nest in the cage corner. Not what I prefer. I want them, I like how they used a barrier there with that wood, so I might try that. So what do you guys think? What are you guys using for nest boxes? What have you tried that hasn't worked? Let us heed your warning. Tell us what isn't working for you so we don't make the same mistakes. I've got one more rabbit thing for you guys. The AI bunny joke of the day. AI writes these for me because I have 4 kids and I'm busy. And I think it's funny because they're just terrible, terrible jokes. But this time it roasted me more than anything. So, rabbit joke of the week. Are you ready? It says, I wanted a quiet hobby, so I started raising rabbits. Now I spend my evenings discussing poop, fur, and whether a laundry basket counts as a nest box. Bump. I have a picture for you. I'm sure I have that up for you already. Okay, so whether you're scrubbing bunny butts, researching salt licks, or turning a random household item into a nest box for your rabbits, you're in good company. Thanks for listening to One More Rabbit Thing, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.